Quality of life changes. That was the name of the unexpected update last night. And man, let me tell you, the hype build up to this update was absolutely insane. Welcome back, everyone. Today we are back on Sword Fighter Simulator. Currently, I am inside of one of the farming servers that I went ahead and shared with you guys in my last video. If for some reason you missed that, I will go ahead and link both of the servers at the very top of the comments. Basically, just a free VIP server that I purchased. They never get shut down, only obviously when updates happen. So if you're interested, feel free to join in. There's constantly always people in here. But let's get into the topic at hand here, and that is the quality of life changes that were released last night. So for starters, it took roughly around, I want to say about 5-6 hours from the moment that this was originally announced before we actually got to see the entire, update. First, it was announced over on the Discord. They gave us an entire list of everything that was going to be going on. Said servers would be updating 1 to 2 hours from the time that that post was made live. 1 hour and 2 hour passed and absolutely nothing happened. So that was kind of interesting. Either way, about an hour and a half passes, and then we get an announcement in-game saying that the servers will be reset in 15 minutes. You guessed it, 15 minutes passed and no servers restarted. Fast forward like 3 hours later, and then we finally get it that the servers will be restarting in, I think it was like 5 or 10 minutes. So yes, the hype buildup was pretty insane. But with that, we got a couple of really cool things. For starters, I'm sure a lot of you have already noticed by now, the weapon inventory as well as the pet inventory has been somewhat sort of changed, at least the sorting system. So up here you have all of these different options that you can go ahead and choose, and then of course you have an actual search feature now, so you can go ahead and look up specific weapons. The unfortunate side to this is that there is an enchant kind of like sorting button, but if I type in, for instance, tiny, my tiny weapons don't pop up, so that's kind of unfortunate, but I mean, it is what it is. At least we have the sorting feature, and locking stuff is so much easier now. Same thing is going on over here on the pet menu. Everything is the exact same, except that you don't have obviously the enchant option. So I guess overall you could say that this is, I want to say, the second biggest thing that happened. The first one was probably the fact that they restarted all of the servers finally. So my last video is pretty much voided at this point. If you didn't get to see that one, basically some servers you would join into, the actual stats for the individual secret pets were really messed up. That no longer is the case. Now every single pet is at exactly where it needs to be in every single server. So I can finally go back to hanging out in public servers occasionally when I'm just kind of sitting here and not AFKing. Opening up the wheel spin over here. So this is actually pretty interesting. Apparently there was an option added where you can buy more spins. Like for instance, you could buy like 5-10 spins at a time. I have no idea where this option is because, well, I don't really see it. It's nowhere here. When I click buy, it only lets me buy 1 spin. And when I go over to the shop, nothing is really in here. So I don't know where the spins are. Maybe you have to actually have 1 spin in order to be able to see the purchasing more, which actually I just said that out loud and it makes a lot more sense. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happens. When you have 1 spin, it more than likely pops up the option to buy more. Another thing about wheel spin, the actual OP mount as well as the OP pets have had their kind of like odds changed a little bit. The OP pet, I believe, is still the same, 0.01%. That's exactly what it used to be. But the OP mount is now a 0.1%, which the OP pet and the OP mount used to be the same percent, but that seems to not be the case anymore. Also, the OP mount is a plus 65, which it actually shows it now in this menu, and the OP pet is a times 4 QA. I definitely want that mount, and I promise the moment that I get my hands on it, I will be making a video on that, because plus 65, they better not mess with that amount ever, because if I do decide to spend Robux on this and I end up getting it, then next update, they drop that down to like a plus 40, I'm gonna be super heartbroken. Now, speaking of chances, over here on the Valentine's Battle Pass, if you guys remember previously, I told you that there was really no way of seeing what was inside the Relic Chest, except for, opening it a bunch of times and kind of going based off of what everybody's getting. Then I mentioned to you guys that there's a reward button down here, but when you click it, nothing happens. That has now been officially changed as well. If you hover over the Relic Chest, It actually shows you what you can get and the odds of getting it. Red Rose Bear is actually not as good as I thought it was when I made a video 3 days ago, because from what I've learned from the comments in that video, the heart mug is actually pretty insane because it has a luck percentage on it, which is kind of insane. I've been trying to get my hands on it, but unfortunately have not been lucky enough. Currently, I'm doing what is this, my fourth kind of like spin around through the battle pass. It's going, you know, I'm sort of getting there, but it's definitely a grind. Cupid's bow is a 0.2% chance, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no idea what it does. Speaking of which, let me go check the Discord. Hold on. Okay, so it actually turns out that one of the developers did mention about this. The day of the update, he actually said, has anyone got the new relic from the chest? Cupid's bow, it's a 1 in 500 chance, and the stats on this are actually pretty crazy. Plus 15% luck and plus 5,000% power. I would also like to point out that it says plus 15% luck mythic. Not 100% sure what that means, but if I had to guess, I assume it has something to do with the mythic weapons, that it increases your chance on getting those. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Next thing on the list is the teleport menus. So over here, it's actually a pretty major change, but not really at the same time, because I mean, this deep into the game with as many zones as we have, I feel like everybody knows where it is at this point. But I guess for the new players, it's actually, you know, pretty useful, especially with how many different worlds there are in the game now. But yes, there is little symbols next to each and every zone that tells you what is inside of there. So Enchanted Woods, you got the Dismantler. Aether City, you got the Celestial Machine. Demon, you got the Enchants, and then Skull, you have the Shine. One thing that I do kind of wish, and you know, I might be just being a little picky here, but I kind of wish that a symbol would show up whenever the merchant was in that specific world. I feel like that'd be pretty useful. If, for instance, the merchant pops up in Polar Tundra, it shows his little, you know, character right there. That way, when I get on, I don't have to, you know, jump into every single world to find him. Maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe there is an actual better way of doing this, and I'm sure somebody will point it out in the comments. But for the most part, I believe that is all the changes that were made for the update last night. Again, it was really unexpected. Wasn't a major content update. For some reason, a lot of people didn't know what QOL meant, because I did notice that they had to specify QOL was quality of life changes. Someone out there was definitely like, yo, I can't wait till they add the QOL. It's going to be super OP. Yeah, no, man. You were in for a surprise. Aside from that, not much has changed over in my kind of little department here. I have a bunch of shiny Cyan Brutes, which is the mythics, currently sitting at 2 Celestials. And then as far as secrets, nothing exciting has happened. I've been hatching nonstop. I mean, literally to the point where I still don't have a secret sword, which I'd like to point out that I have been doing every single blood moon, but unfortunately, secret swords are just not dropping for me. So for those of you in the comments of that one video that said that I was scripting, actually ridiculous, because I would totally be way more OP right now. It just doesn't make sense, man. There is like people out there that are really I mean, do I really have to say more? On a serious note, shout out to every single person on here that is grinding away and has not stopped. I know there's a lot of people on here that are not scripting and are just, you know, emptying out those bank accounts, going into debt, pulling out loans on their houses. Shout out to you guys. If any of the developers are watching this video, please make sure to go ahead and post over on the Discord your Bugatti as well as your McLaren. I'd love to see it. But I think it's going to do it for this video, man. Like always, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Drop a like on this video. Make sure to check out the servers below. I hang out inside of here, and we could use some more stronger people in here so we can do some 44 and 48 runs. But that's all. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.